Welcome back to the Brain Heal Project, where I attempt to fix cognition issues caused by my phone use. Today we are hitting 2 weeks of this project, and this feels like a really important time frame because I can feel myself being pulled in 2 different directions. I feel the pull of who I was before I started this project and my old habits trying to pull me back, bring me back to homeostasis and prevent change. And I feel the pull of something else, the potential of who I could become and who I'm on my way to becoming, pulling me in the opposite side. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, because real change is painful. And the high of the novelty of this project has been going away. So I'm dealing with that. And it's my cue that I know I know underneath it all that it's my cue that I need to push through it to make changes in my brain chemistry stick and not allow this to just be a failed experiment and kind of pretend that it didn't happen. I don't feel that I can afford to do that. The other side of it, in addition to the potential of who I could be, the positive changes that I've been making, the sort of true self that I feel like I've been uncovering, it's also veering me into a spiritual territory. I'm reacquainting myself with what feels like my true self, my true mind and my thoughts, my hopes, my desires, my dreams, a lot of my emotions that I've been suppressing from scrolling. And I've had these experiences going inward, listening to myself, that do feel spiritual. So I want to get into that and what that is. If you're a returning viewer, you may have noticed that 2 days ago, I posted a video of essentially an improvised chord that builds using my voice and my looper station. It can be used for meditation or for any reason that you'd want to go inward. And weirdly enough, I felt a calling to make that video that I listened to. I had what felt like a conversation with my higher self, where it told me to truly examine the motives I have behind posting on this channel and my motives behind changing and what I really want. Now, I have multiple motives here. There's several reasons why I'm talking to you today, but it told me to deeply examine the part of myself that is looking to have influence and attention that would come if this channel grew. And I'm reflecting on that, and I said, well, what about all the people who clearly just go into this wanting power and money, and they succeed and they're running the show and they have everything they ever wanted? And it said, don't worry about them. It's not your business. To succeed on your specific path, you need to keep checking your motives and your corruptibility. So I said, okay, and I've flirted in the past with making videos that are improvised meditation music, and my higher self told me to do this now, and I won't even go into today where I started, where starting on the tone of 294 hertz came from, but basically I believed that it was the right decision. In the making of this video, I focused on the group of people who would be drawn to click it, no matter how small that group may be, and that I may work in service to them. I know that I've had the experience many times of a thoughtful video being suggested to me exactly at the right time. This is a very powerful algorithm here on YouTube, so I know that other people have had that experience too, and that I can contribute by making videos that show up on the feed of a person who needs to see it in that moment. I feel like I'm full of ideas right now. I've really stepped back into my creative energy. And it's because being hooked on mindless scrolling made me so passive and complacent that a lot of creative energy was blocked. Something has opened inside me and is flowing out. And this is what also has been scaring me and has been kind of making me retreat into a comfortable shell where I'm remembering 2 weeks ago and more what I was like, and it's it's the devil, it was safe, like a safe place, like I know that person. And what I'm veering into now, what I just described to you, is something completely new to me. I started this project from a pseudoscientific place, I would say. Not pseudoscientific, because it is real. The cognition changes that are occurring in me because I've cut down on my screen habits, and I stopped scrolling. And I'm reading this scientific book to go along with what I'm learning and what I'm feeling. But now I'm also allowing these intangible metaphysical parts of myself that I've often suppressed to help guide the process. Not to mention the fact that there's so much in the science of consciousness still to be discovered and understood. And basically, I'm listening to my intuition, trying to respect its power. And that's something that I was very far away from weeks ago. For people new to this channel, I'll make a list in the description of the rules on screen habits that I've implemented and the new healthy habits that I'm working to build. The very straightforward parts of this project. But I don't know if any of this makes sense to you guys, but this is where I'm at. I feel like I'm situated right in between these different paths for myself. And I know somewhere that I need to explore the feelings I have of spiritual guidance, of wisdom in a collective consciousness that I don't quite understand. And I know somewhere in the back of my mind that I need to trust that. But it's scary to do that, like jumping off a cliff, and really not knowing how far down the bottom is. So that's where I'm at. I want to close with to kind of ground us, because I'm talking about sort of things that might not make sense. I want to close with a quote from Your Stone Age Brain in the Screen Age that I liked. Our ancestors developed imagination and the ability to consider hypotheticals removed from present concerns, but today contemplating one's thoughts feels strange. Deliberately thinking for pleasure is cognitively demanding and requires mental resources that people are either unwilling or unable to devote to the task, says University of Virginia psychologist Timothy Wilson. When in De Brevitate Vitae, On the Shoulders of Life, the Stoic philosopher Seneca says, life is long if you know how to use it. He is referring to the existential shock that comes on realizing that much of one's life has been squandered on unproductive activities. Even scarier is the prospect of getting to know yourself better. I'll leave you with that. Thank you, and talk soon.